Sri Lanka is facing an unprecedented economic crisis said to be the worst in decades. Sri Lanka's economy has been in a free fall since the COVID pandemic broke out due to the crash of the tourism sector. The citizens of the country are facing severe shortage of food, fuel and other essential items. The country is witnessing long hours of power cuts on a daily basis. The ruling coalition in Sri Lanka has lost majority after 41 lawmakers walked out of the alliance amid growing anger against the Rajapaksa family. Earlier, the newly appointed Finance Minister Ali Sabri also resigned just a day after he was appointed. So there's major turmoil. On ground, you see the protests spilling over. You even have Sri Lankan cricketers joining these protests. So in back here in India as well, you have, in fact, Bollywood stars with Sri Lankan origin speaking out about it, how unprecedented a crisis this is. This is a country in shambles right now because you have a situation where people do not have the bare essentials, the bare minimum to survive. And some of those placards, in fact, you will see where people are saying, give us milk, give us food, give our money back. Now, a lot of the people here believe that the Rajapaksa leadership has in fact not governed in the way that they should have in order to maintain the economic stability. And due to the governance failure, you have this severe shortage of essentials, widespread misery across the island nation. Sri Lanka is facing shortage of food amid the ongoing crisis. The paddy farming has been greatly impacted due to the acute shortage of diesel and fertilizers. Rice production or paddy production is one of the main productions and staple food in Sri Lanka. My colleague Priyank is right there in Sri Lanka tracking all the updates for us. He brings us this report.
To know the real story behind the major lapses in the food shortage, we have come to one of the village of Sri Lanka, which is barely 60 kilometers away from the capital city of Colombo. And you can see all the grass is filled here in this paddy field. Paddy has been one of the main source of food for the Sri Lankan. 21.8 million Sri Lankans survive on this, and there are around 1.8 million people who survive on the the farming of this paddy. Let's go back to our interpreter who will guide us that what exactly these farmers are telling us.
They want to this grow, but there is no machine, is no diesel, no everything. That's the problem. It's difficult to live in now.
So the process which was opted by the government has certainly affected them. There's no diesel. He has to work by himself. There's no tractors which can be bought for plowing. And because of lack of fertilizer and the high rate of the fertilizers, this situation has happened where the paddy fields are filled with grass. There's nothing substantial which can be taken out from these fields.
In fact, Priyank is joining us live now. Priyank, you were showing us the root cause behind the food shortage. You were taking us through the paddy cultivation to show what farming is currently afflicted with. But on ground, tell us, what are the other major concerns? Big update came in earlier that the embassies have temporarily shut in 4 countries. Over to you for the latest, Priyank.
See, the Sri Lankan government is trying their level best to save any kind of foreign money which they have, and certainly shutting down the embassy is one of the reasons. Following to the major collapse in the financial, circuit of Colombo and the financial policies which were opted by the government, they are taking various steps in this measure. There was a session of the parliament which happened today where the senior members of the parliament who were ministers in the present government who had resigned came out and they said that we are ready to put in the paper, but fact of the matter is that the country need to work together to bring back the economy in the right phase. Right now, the Sri Lankan government is trying to piece together whatever has fallen from their hand, and later to that they will be in terms with the foreign members and foreign countries, so that they can bring more money for the cultivation and other basic necessities. Mahinda also accessed the kind of data of the material of diesel as well as rice, which was transported from India and which is also expected to come in this particular week. So the efforts are being on, but there have been several policy lapses which has resulted to this kind of situation, which we have been trying to highlight. Today we also saw a massive protest which happened from the members of Hotel Association, where they kept on protesting instead of the heavy rains. But slowly, steadily, the people are trying to push the government so that the right policy can be taken, right decision can be taken, so then only the country can come actually to the normal phase.
Priyank, for joining us from Colombo and giving us all the latest information.